Hello. Well, after spending the last few minutes talking to myself and not switching on the record button, this time I decided to check that the record button was actually switched on. That will save a lot of time. I was asked by a new subscriber how did I get to Japan, and I should make a video about it, so I'm going to. I used to work for British Telecom in England, and when I left after 9 years they asked me why I was leaving, and I said I did not ever want to work for a company like British Telecom again, because things had changed. We could no longer take half an hour for a break or 45 minutes. We could no longer take 1 hour 15 minutes for lunch. It was getting unbearable. So she asked me, did I really want to leave that on my finishing card, and I thought about it and I said yes. I burnt my bridges with British Telecom, and so I travelled around the world. I sold my house, I travelled around the world, ending up in New Zealand for about, I think altogether 18 months, and I had a great time. New Zealand is great. I lived in Queenstown, and I shared an apartment with a few people, and one guy was a Japanese English teacher, and I thought, it came to me, I left a good job, oh shit, what am I going to do now? I thought, well, if I spoke Japanese I could always get a job. I'd be in front of the line, and so I took Japanese lessons in New Zealand. I then went to Japan, but before that I sold all my worldly goods in the high street in Japan, near the lake, sorry, in Queenstown near the lake. Very beautiful city, town should I say. And while I was doing that I met a young stewardess who asked me what I was doing and why, and I said I wanted to come to Japan, and she said she would introduce me to a group of wealthy Japanese people, which she did, and amongst these people was a Mr. well, I won't say his name or everyone else will be going knocking on his door, and he said, come to Japan, I will help you, which he did. So I landed in Japan on February the 14th 1990 with 2 big suitcases and a backpack, and I got to Ikebukuro station at 5:30, which is rush hour time, and going into the tunnel or one of the underground walkways at Ikebukuro station and seeing thousands of people coming towards me was a bit of a shock, especially coming from New Zealand. And so I found somewhere to stay. The next day I went to the officers, and he said, great, pleased to see me. Took me for lunch, maguro lunch, tuna lunch, and he said, tomorrow one of my staff will come to see you, get your suitcases and you can stay at my house, which he did. He was very kind, and that was the start of my stay in Japan. If you would like to know more, please let me know. And this is how I got to Japan 22 years ago. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.